running fast for me is the ultimate human activity. Like it is really truly the tip of the spear in human performance. The fastest person on the planet is the fastest person on the planet. Usain Bolt is the world record holder. If you think about Mo Green stalking behind his blocks and licking his lips, getting ready for this, basically he's going to war. And then Usain came along with the exact opposite. Until I had the opportunity to actually go and work with like super elite sprinters. And now I can't do anything other than that. I really can't. It's fascinating to me.
How should we think about running and sprinting in particular? Because when we grow up, we learn to crawl, walk, run, and kids naturally want to run fast at some point, fast for them. What is it about running that for you is such an enchanting thing? Why do you think that every 4 years or so, depending on when they're scheduling the Olympics, everyone in this country gets fascinated with who's fastest, who's fastest in the world? And then they tend to put track and field aside for a bit, but people can jump, they can swim, they can do all these things, but running is so fundamental to being human. What are your thoughts on running generally? And let's break it up into distances. Why do you love seeing people run fast? Why have you devoted yourself in part to helping people run faster and faster?
Yeah, there's a lot in that. First, running fast for me is the ultimate human activity. Like the fastest human on the planet is the fastest human on the planet. Where potentially maybe like the best football player is probably not the best football player. The best soccer player is probably not the best soccer player. There might be someone down in Argentina who could be a better NFL linebacker than choose your all-pro linebacker right now. Where sprinting, everybody sprints, as you said. We all run when we're kids. And we figure out, or our teachers figure out, or our coaches figure out, well, Andrew, you're a sprinter, so you're going to sprint. Stu, you're a middle distance, so you go and do that. And over the course of time, we kind of figure out whether we're good or not. And the sprinters, like the truly elite sprinters, end up being the truly elite sprinters when they are 20, 25, 30 years old. Like that's what you do. You don't move into something else if you are a super elite sprinter. So I think that's part of it, is that for me. Like it is really truly the tip of the spear in human performance. The fastest person on the planet is the fastest person on the planet. Usain Bolt is the world record holder, and he is the fastest person who's ever ran. There's probably not somebody else who, in the Congo somewhere in Jamaica that could have been faster than Usain, because they would have displayed themselves at some point. So for me, that is it. And I started coaching kind of 1984. Like I've been coaching for a long, long time. And I started coaching professionally in 1992. And I've coached many sports, many activities, many tasks. And I enjoy most of them. But for me, it is that pinnacle, that true tip of the spear that interests me the most. And that you only get from sprinting. If you're an NFL football player, most likely you're playing every game at about 80% of your best. If you were 80% of your best and you got onto the 100-meter start line, forget about it. Forget about it. If you're less than 99.9% of your best, forget about it. That's why I love the sprinting events so much. And zoomed out from that a little bit, like I started off as a strength and conditioning coach. So for me, it was more about the power, the strength, and the speed. It was all of that. And I coached bobsled for a long time. And I really, really enjoyed bobsled because, these guys are massive. They're really strong and they're really fast. So that for me was really appealing. And that was kind of that fed my obsession about this peak human performance for a long time, until I had the opportunity to actually go and work with like super elite sprinters. And now I can't do anything other than that. I really can't. It's fascinating to me.
How do we compare the fastest person in the 100 meters versus the 200 versus the 400? So for you, is it coaching the 100 that's the most exciting, or the 200 or the 400?
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually prefer coaching the 200 for a couple of reasons. There's a little bit of tactics in the 200, or there's more tactics than there are in the 100. In the 100, the fastest person is going to win. In the 200, depending on how you tactically set up your race, because it's not an all-out sprint. You can't run as fast as you can for 20 seconds. Whereas 100 meters, you can run as fast as you can for 10 to 11 seconds. It's all out right from the start. With the 200, you have to kind of either push out really, really hard and then smooth it out and then try to finish strong, or you start off a little bit easier and you finish strong, or you just go all out and you're just going to fade and see if you can stay ahead. So that tactical element for that race for me is really interesting. So then you're combining the capacity, the actual ability to run fast and be super incredibly fast, high velocities with the tactical component. So it's then you're thinking about, okay, if my athlete's in lane 6, who's in lane 7, who's in lane 8? How are we going to determine how we run based upon what the other races are going to do? So for me, it's the 200. That's not to say I don't love the 100. The 100 for me is the one that if I'm just a fan, that's the one that I'm paying attention to the most.
And every 4 years, people become obsessed with it.
Right.
That person is generally, the winner is characterized as the fastest person on the planet. Because like you said, it's all out.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think most people can't really conceive in a concrete way what sprinting 100 meters really is about.
Yeah.
And the world record is held by
Usain Bolt.
And the record is somewhere
9.58 seconds.
And yesterday you told me that means it's about 40 strides to cover 100 meters.
For Usain, it was 40 steps, correct. Yeah. For many other elite sprinters, it's somewhere between 40 and 45 in the men, and somewhere between sort of 47 and 52 for the women. If we look over the history of some of the elite male sprinters, there was a time, when I started getting into the sport, the way to be as an elite male sprinter was hyper-focused, hyper-intense. If we think about Mo Green stalking behind his blocks and licking his lips, getting ready for this, basically he's going to war. And it seemed like so many of the sprinters were trying to encapsulate this kind of feeling, like sprinting is, it's macho, it's ego, it's I'm coming here to knock you out. And then Usain came along with the exact opposite. And I think, it's just he's out there having fun. And Usain, they're like this. Like he was really expressing his entire being in the way in which he went around about this task of sprinting 100 meters or sprinting 200 meters. And I feel like that is such an important piece with all sport, and probably within all things, If you can connect your entire way of being with the thing that you're spending most of your time doing, chances are you're going to be really successful at that thing. And if you look at all the other sports, right, it's the ones that you can tell they're just really confident in who they are, in what they do, how they express themselves. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be Usain Bolt and playing around at the line and doing things like this and, jumping around. And
was he always like that? Does anyone know when he was a kid?
Oh no, he's a kid. He's a big kid. He still is. He's just he brings this really childlike intensity to things. Like he's still intense. He wants to kill you, but he'll laugh in your face just before he does it. Like I love that about him. But that's not everybody. That's not every elite sprinter.